Well, hey, good morning. It is 7:46 a.m. on Friday, August 22nd, 2025. And this morning I have got one of my excellent rated coffees, Arpeggio, which is an Espressione Italiana coffee from Nespresso. And I thought, let me use a coffee that I enjoy to test this low-fat milk. Okay, so, I've tried the whole milk the last few days. Okay, low-fat, but how much low-fat? What percent milk is this? Alexa, how many grams of fat are in whole milk?
1 cup of whole milk has 3.3 grams of fat.
Alexa, what percent fat is in low-fat milk?
Here is an answer from an Alexa Answers contributor that I translated. Whole milk has at least 3.5% fat. Low-fat milk contains between 1.5% and 1.8% fat.
Alexa, how many grams of fat is in 2% milk?
1 cup of 2% milk has 4.8 grams of fat.
Okay, that's not... Sometimes when you ask Alexa questions, you get crazy answers. I'm thinking that because this has, I don't know, anyway, it says low fat, all right? It's got 2.5 grams of fat and 8 ounces of milk. And, usually these things will say 1%, 2%, something like that. All right, so this has thrown me all off. I've had everything ready this morning. I've got a cup, I've got a paper towel, I've got a spoon, I've got the coffee. I have a milk frother and a coffee machine with water in it, and I've got the coffee lightener here. All right, this is what we'll do, okay? We'll go about this. I'll try to do this in a logical manner. All righty, so I'm going to make a capsule of the Arpeggio, which is known for having fruity and cocoa notes, but mostly cocoa notes from the south of Italy, fruity notes from the north of Italy. Anyhow, and actually on this box, it gives it an intensity of 9. But you know what? It doesn't say where the coffee beans are from. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, nothing about that. Because they sure didn't grow them in Italy. That's not in the coffee zone. Remember, the coffee zone is between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. That's 23.5 degrees north of the equator, 23.5 degrees south of the equator. So think about the countries, you're more, tropical countries, but also countries that have, in a tropical area, but that have mountains too. Like Indonesia and Colombia, Vietnam. Okay, those are some big coffee producers that a lot of people know about. Okay, Mexico, Guatemala, Costa Rica. Alrighty, so I've got my capsule in here. It is an espresso. By the way, I have ordered 2 more transparent espresso cups, so hopefully those should be here this weekend, and hopefully they'll be nice. I've ordered clear ones before, but either they were too heavy or the glass was really thin, and it seemed like it might break. Anyhow, we'll see how these work. I think they're borosilicate glass, which is the kind of glass they make laboratory glassware out of. So should be strong, microwave, dishwasher safe. So, alrighty, here I've got an espresso. Nice aroma. Now, I am not going to, okay, here we go again. I rinsed off the outside of this thing. All right, You know, you're supposed to poke, let me go ahead and do that. I'm gonna poke the straw that comes with it in to make a hole. Because with the whole milk, when I did this, I peeled off the top. It was very difficult to pour without making a mess. Okay, so there's a hole in there. Oh, I wonder if I can squirt it out of, okay, let's see. Oh, okay, well, oh, yes, and there it goes dripping down the counter. All right, let me squirt a little more in there. Okay, that's one way to do it, right? What made me think of that? You know how sometimes when you poke these straws, if you ever have children, grandchildren, or you've ever had to do this for a kid, and they have one of those juice pouch things or juice boxes, and if you're holding it a little too tight, when you punch that straw in, you get a little geyser. So that's what made me think maybe I could do that. And it did come out much more neatly than when I took that whole foil seal off. Okay. I mean, it's okay. You know what I'm gonna do though? I am gonna go ahead and froth up this milk and see how it is as a froth. Oh wait, let me put this up higher. You know, you'd think I could just take this straw out. I'll just clean the counter later. And there we go. Kind of messy, but not too bad. Okay, and I've still got enough definitely for another day there. Okay, so we will watch this do its thing. Alrighty, my spoon's in there. Okay, so here we go. All right, I'm gonna put the lid on to start with, just so I don't get, you know, splashed here. Okay, so we've got it on heated froth, hot froth. Okay, and we'll see what we can see down to the bottom. Oh, hey, look at that, the bottom's starting to disappear. So that means that it really, yeah, that means it's frothing up. We'll let it go the full time, which is what? I don't know. It's up to this thing. I have no idea if it's a set time or, yeah, I guess it's a set time that it goes no matter what you put in it. Okay, now, when I did this with the whole milk, one time I did it just with the, you know, plain milk, and then the next time I put in some skinny syrup. So we'll see how that is. I can add the skinny syrup afterwards. Oh, look at that. Wow. This, you know what? This is very interesting. This has frothed up more than the whole milk did. Oh, it's a very nice froth. Tastes good. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pour some of this in here. Okay. You know, let me show you. It looks like a cloud floating around. See, isn't that nice? Give it a mix around. And even when you mix it around, you still have a lovely froth on the top because the milk froth combines with the crema of the coffee, and It just keeps a lovely thickness across the top. Okay. This is good, but you know what? It's really good. But I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna put some salted caramel syrup in here, okay? And I'll show you what I'm gonna do. Okay, now I don't want to run it on hot again, alrighty? Because that will scald the milk. Okay, so I'm gonna hold this down. Oh wait, I'm gonna fix the circuit thing. Okay, now I'm gonna hold it down until it turns blue, okay? And what it's doing is a cold froth. In other words, it's spinning the milk around, therefore mixing up my syrup with the frothed milk, but it's not heating it any further. So, and you know, if you ever, you know, like even if you're making a dessert that normally you might put cream or whipped cream on, but you don't have any and you have some milk, you can go ahead and make a cold froth with the milk and sweeten it, you know, before you froth it up. And that can be really delicious, like, you know, on Jell-O or bread pudding or any of the kind of things that you would normally use cream or whipped cream on. Okay, so it doesn't need to spin around anymore because it was just to mix up the sweetness. Okay, so I feel like I ought to just dump this in here. You know what? I'm going to put another, okay, we've determined that the low-fat milk is very good, okay? So, I got all kinds of wires here. All right, I am gonna go ahead and extract another espresso capsule in here. Oh, Jennifer Tina, good morning. It's nice to see your name there. Thanks for joining us. So I'm putting another Arpeggio espresso in here. And I just got a mess all over here this morning. And I've got, okay. I am going to, you know, I should, oh gosh, I hope I'm not going to end up overflowing things. No, it'll be okay. All right. I'm going to put this on cold froth just to mix up the 2 espressos with the low-fat frothed milk and the salted caramel skinny syrup. Okay, hopefully this is not going to be a disaster. Here, we'll watch this. Hopefully this will not... Oh my gosh. Ah! Oh dear. Well, I'll pull the plug. Okay. So obviously, I'm going to have a lot of cleanup this morning. All right, let me rinse my hand off here. Oh dear. All right, I'm going to stick this up and hopefully it's not going to drop in the sink. Rinse the coffee off my hand. Ugh, it's going all over the counter. I shouldn't have done that, you know? I mean, it was so close to the top. What was I thinking? Obviously, I was not really thinking, was I? All right, so, okay, well, I'll clean it up later. So, here we have, oh, it's a good thing I unplugged it because the electric base is sitting in a pool of coffee and milk and syrup. Okay, so we've got a very nice thick froth here. Okay. All right, and yeah, look at how nice and thick that froth is, huh? All right, we'll see if I can actually sip some of the coffee out of this. You know, one of the reasons that people like, oh, I've got to get some paper towels. I'm sorry, I can't stand. Well, for one thing, I don't want it to run off the edge of the counter. Ugh, look, this whole thing is just, oh, it's on the wire. I don't want it to run off, you know, down the cabinets and onto the floor. Oh boy. I don't know. I'll clean it later. I just put this here to help soak some of it up so it doesn't come running down the cabinet as well. All right. This is delicious. I was going to say, some people watch live videos, live Facebook or YouTube videos, because you never know what's going to happen. You know, and even making a simple cup of coffee can add to the unexpected and excitement factor of things. Of course, this is not quite the same as when I drove over anise seeds in order to crush them to make anise seed coffee, but you know, exciting enough. And this is so yummy. And the fun thing about this, oh, this is so yum. I'm gonna mix some more of it in. So, oh, there's more in here. Let me put some more in. See? Alrighty, well, okay. That's got me woken up for sure. So we had a lot, look at that mess. We had a lot of rain last night, and I don't think I'll be going to the pool today. It's heavily overcast, and it's supposed to rain on and off throughout the day. And that pool water's gonna be chilly after all that rain. Okay. This is so yummy. Now, there are 110 calories per cup of milk. So if I'm using, this is a cup, about a third of this each time I make coffee. Well, let's say I'm using half of it, all right? Just to make the calculations easy. So that means I've got 55 calories of milk. We probably have to take some off for what remained in the milk frother. Oh, what about what spilled on the counter? Well, normally that won't happen. So essentially, you know, I'm having a 55 calorie cup of coffee. That's not bad. I've told you before, I prefer to chew my calories, but sometimes it's worth it to drink them. One last bit. Why am I using this dull gray utilitarian looking mug? Because this is the mug that I got when I went to the Christmas market in Vilsalpsee, Austria, back in, was it early December or late November? Let's see, I was there October, November, and half of December. So, you know, to you it may look dull and meaningless, but to me, Christkindl marked, and it was in the Alps, and yeah, it just brings back wonderful memories. And I think, you know, that's part of the coffee experience too, is not just enjoying what's in the cup, but sometimes the cup as well. Well, all right. I'm going to enjoy my coffee here, and then I'm going to set about cleaning up everything that's gone all over the place. And next time I won't be quite as outrageous about thinking that if I already have an almost full thing, I probably shouldn't add any more to it. Okay, I hope that you have a wonderful day today, and I'll talk to you later, okay?